Hey there, Soulshine. It's Michelle here, and I'm inviting you to wake up and live. And if you haven't already done so, I'm inviting you to subscribe and to become a part of my YouTube family. And I'm so glad to know you. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so I'm going to talk today about my violin. My violin. I have wanted to play the violin since I was a very little girl. I don't know what it is about the violin that I just love the violin. And I've wanted to play for a very, very, very long time. My oldest son, he has known this. He knew that I wanted to play. He's known that I've wanted to play for a long time. And at least 5 years ago for Mother's Day, he got me my violin. Isn't it beautiful? It's just gorgeous. I love it. It has been the most incredibly touching Mother's Day gift I've ever received. If you've been following along, you know that gifts is a really important love language for me. It's probably the deepest at my core. And so this violin has so much meaning behind it. This violin tells me that my son was thinking about me, that he was paying attention, that he knows me, that he loves me, that he knows that I had a dream and he wanted to give me a way to achieve my dream. That's what this violin is about. This violin represents my dream to learn to play the violin. And so I got this violin. Let me see if I can show you the rosin. Pieces. This is how the rosin came. There is this piece and this little piece and a bunch of little pieces. Just toss those in the garbage can right now. This is how the rosin came. So, I knew that you had to do something with the rosin with the bowl, but I'm like, how in the heck am I supposed to use this? So, that was a little frustrating when it came. So, I've done nothing with that. I had no clue. I watched a guy came over last night. He put this bridge in. I had no clue that you would have to do that. So that was interesting to watch him put that in. And he tuned it, taught me how to tune it with both there and a little bit with these little tiny ones. So I've had this violin for 5 years and I finally know how to tune it. I finally know how it works. I finally have enough information that I feel like with YouTube I could get started. But my biggest problem when I got this was, how can I even start? I have no clue how to tune it. I have no clue. I didn't even know that you had to put that bridge in. I didn't know that in order to keep a bow working, you have to loosen it so that the strings on the bow are not stretching the bow so the bow doesn't lose its spring. And I had that crazy resin. So I had all these things why I didn't even know how to start. So I was so grateful for the gift, but I was also so frustrated because I didn't know how to start. I asked the one person I knew that did violin lessons if she could help me get started, and she just refused, which was really hard. Because it was like, I only need to get started. And then I'm such an amazing learner. I learned to play the piano mostly on my own. I got started there and I learned how to play the piano on my own. I'm an amazing sight reader on the piano. And even now that I haven't been playing for like 10 years, I still can sit down and do a pretty decent job on the piano. So I knew that if I could just get started, I would do okay. So here's the story about this beautiful violin. I went to an event a few weeks ago. Mother's Day weekend, actually. How ironic. 5 years after I got it, maybe even 6. And there was somebody, at this event, they put things up on the vision board, because they taught about vision boards, and then they had everybody put, all these 800 people put a little card up of something they wanted on the vision board. Hey, you, do I need earplugs? I'm not planning to play for you, so you're probably good without earplugs today. How's Barbados? So they put up on the vision board these things, and I went and I looked at the vision board, and the very first thing, this vision board is you put up what you wanted, and then if somebody else in the room could help you achieve what you wanted on your vision board, they would contact you. I'm glad that Barbados is awesome. So I went and I looked at the vision board, and the very first thing I saw in big bold letters was violin. And a guy wanted a violin so that he could pick up the practice. He had played. I found out a little more last night. He sold his violin when he was in college to help him continue through school. And so he gave up his love of playing, and he was looking for a violin to get back into practice. So I saw that on the first day they had it up. And people were going to be bringing things in the next day. And I was like, I don't know if I can. This violin means so incredibly much to me. Like, even now, it means so much to me. And the next day I was like, okay, I don't have it with me, but I'll give them my information, and he can contact me, and he can come and see if it's something he wants. Because the concept is that if I was willing and to sacrifice something that big for me, then that means that I would be blessed in return. Because what you give out, you give back. So if I'm giving out this huge piece of my heart, then I'm going to get a big piece of my heart back. And so he went out of town. I was out of town. A bunch of crazy stuff. And finally, yesterday, we were able to get together. And he came out. And he told me he was on his way, and I just bawled. The whole way. I knew it would take him like 20 to 30 minutes to get to my house, and I was just crying the whole time and just kind of asking the Lord, asking the universe if there was any way for me to keep this violin, to allow it to be so. Because I was willing to make that sacrifice, but it was hurting so bad. It felt like a piece of my heart was being broken off. I felt like a piece of me was dying. It was feeling worse than breaking up with a guy. It was really hard. So he came and he looked at it, and he realized that I hadn't even put it together, and he asked me some questions. Thank you. Thank you for the hugs. He asked me some questions, realized that I wanted to learn, realized that it had been a Mother's Day gift for me. And instead of taking the violin, he put it together for me. He taught me how to tune it. He has given me so much information. He gave me the information of his sister-in-law who owns a music store, and her husband makes violins. So I talked to them to make sure that I was getting all the things that I needed to go with the violin. To get it needs like a shoulder rest thing. I had one, but I'm pretty sure that's gone forever. So I need that, and I need new rosin, and some books to learn the fingering, to learn the exercises, and to learn how to play some simple songs. So I'll be going and getting those today. But he even, like, we exchanged email addresses, and he sent me, I'm like, this is what you need, where you can find it on Amazon. He found somebody on YouTube that he was impressed with her as a teacher. So he sent me a link to her so that I can learn to play. I was willing to give this piece of me up, and I'm still kind of in shock, and it's still hugely emotional. And I am so especially hoping, and I'm praying, and I'm one of my things, I script to the universe. I'm scripting that he gets his violin, because he was so kind to turn up turned down this opportunity to get a violin and to receive his vision board item so that he could help me with something that's been in my heart for a very long time. So I'm very emotional and very grateful. I'm grateful that I was willing to let it go, as painful as it is. And sometimes we do have to let things go that are painful in order to receive. But I'm also very grateful that he allowed me not only to keep my violin, but he gave me the keys that I need so that I can play my violin. So that's just what I'm sharing with you today. It's a super emotional video. That's just the way it is. Thank you for watching from Barbados, which isn't quite as far away as Wales is. Even though I still haven't been to Barbados, and who knows when I will ever get to go to Barbados or Wales. I'd like to go to both. I guess my thank you. I guess my big message for today is sometimes you don't have to actually make the sacrifice to receive. Sometimes you just have to be willing to. Sometimes it's being willing to give up aspects of us. Maybe really important aspects of us. Oh, wow. I've been struggling with the idea of being a businesswoman, with the idea of actually getting the healing work I do out there, marketing it, creating packages, creating and even charging for soul healing altogether. I've started doing house healing again, that's easier for me to sell than soul healing is, or something about working with people that's one-on-one that's harder for me. Working with our houses, it's like, oh yeah, you can charge me for that. So I have some things to work around that. But one of the things that's been really hard is I had a dream that I had to get up. I have to give up to a degree in order to share my message. I've always wanted to be a mom, and I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I didn't want to work. I didn't want to have any kind of career. And I've really been fighting it. I've been really fighting giving up that idea of just being a mom and opening up to the idea that I can be a mom and everything else that I want to do, that I can be a musician, even playing the piano again. There's a part of me that has almost sacrificed that part of me altogether in order to be a mom. And we don't have to sacrifice everything, but being willing to sacrifice is incredible. So is there something that you can sacrifice, or at least be willing to sacrifice if it meant that you could have your dream? Look at it, evaluate it, see where you're at with it. Eventually, I am going to learn to play a song, and I'm eventually going to play a song for you guys on YouTube. Right now, I can make squeaky noises, and as my dear friend James in Barbados currently does not have earplugs, I will not play my squeaky noise for you. But I am going to learn how to play, and I'm going to make it a goal to share a song with you guys here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to let your soul shine big, bright, light, and beautiful, and be you. And thank you so much, James, for watching.